Hello and welcome to the Yellowfin Innovate Summit. My name is Daniel Shaw-Dennis and I'm joined by Ivan Seow. And today we have the pleasure of taking you through what I believe is the most exciting session of the summit, the launch of Yellowfin 9. Now, if you joined us earlier, you would have heard Glenn Raby talk about rethinking innovation in analytics. Ivan, what did you think about it?
I think it was really interesting how the challenges the industry is going and how the point that Glenn made about data consumption changing. But I think in this Yellowfin launch, we've got a few things out of sleeves to help solve some of these challenges.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of bold statements there, but ultimately, you need the tools to back them up, and hopefully you're about to see that in action with our session today. So let's get into it. So let's talk a bit about ourselves for those who aren't as well versed in Yellowfin. We started way back in 2003, born out of a frustration of the cost and complexity of a lot of products at the time, and those who have been in the BI game for a while are well versed in those. And that really drove us to create Yellowfin and the suite of analytics products that we have today. And today we have a team around the world with over 3 million end users, looking after thousands of organizations. And we are continually recognized by the leading analyst firms in the world, and we're quite proud of this as well. And some of the highlights of the last 12 months include our 6th consecutive year in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, being ranked #1 for embedded BI and operational BI by BARC, a great result in the recent Forrester Wave around augmented BI and product vision, IDC Award for Next Generation of Advanced Analytics, and being recognized by EMA for AI and machine learning. So some great recognition. We're quite humbled by that, but just testament to our development team who've just put together just a fantastic suite of products. And really, we wanted to start with what is at our core, and that is that we believe that organizations are far more successful when all their people engage with data. And this is driving everything that we're doing. And hopefully you'll see that in the next 45 minutes or so. But ultimately, most organizations aren't doing this. They're not engaging with data, and which means that analytics just isn't being adopted. And why is this? Ultimately today, vendors are building products for the data analyst, and this is where their focus is. The reality is that it's the business users who need these tools for their roles and their jobs, and whether this is corporate users in an enterprise environment or your end customers if you're building software products, ultimately analytics tools are not built for those who need them most. And the impact of that is that the business users don't have or have minimal adoption and minimal business impact on any data initiatives. And ultimately, we want our customers and generally people to be more successful with data and provide real value. And for that, it really means a change of focus to actually create more value. So if you think about the spectrum of users for analytical tools, you've got those that are developing the applications or preparing the kind of heavy lifting data for analysis, which are the few. And then you move across to the analysts who are analyzing and preparing commentary for others. And then all the way across to the business users who ultimately need that data to act. And this is the wider audience and the wider use case that generate far more value to an organization. And really our mission is to develop an analytics suite that provides business users with unique ways to engage and ultimately act on data and address the needs of the analysts, the developers, really the builders who are building and deploying these amazing analytical experiences. And we've gone about that in kind of 3 major ways in the last 12 months to kind of address this problem. And if you follow the analytics industry, it's a very exciting time to be in data. And our focus, and the first point I'm going to talk about, is around automation. And this is BI 3.0. The industry is going through a seismic shift from the kind of visual insight discovery to augmented analytics, or what I like to call kind of automation. And this is AI-powered technology that's changing the way that we surface what's most important and really providing people with a better way to perform analysis. The second area is data storytelling. And ultimately, people don't want numbers and charts. They need context. They need to know why things have happened and the actions that need to be taken. And this is what proper data storytelling can provide. And we'll show you what we mean by that in just a few moments' time. And the thirdly is around data consumption. You'll see this theme a lot during the summit. And really, the way we consume data has changed today. You've just got to reach in your pocket, pick up your smartphone, and you see evidence of this. We receive a feed of information. We receive snippets that notify when something important happens. That's how we're using these devices, and that's how we're, the vast majority of people are kind of interacting with data. That feed is our jumping point. If you look at my daily use of my mobile, I jump in the morning, I check my emails, I check the overnight football scores, I see notifications come in. This is how we're interacting with data. And what we've done is we've built an analytics experience around that. So I'm going to throw to Ivan, who's going to get to the really great part of that, who's going to show you this in action.
Thanks, Dan. So back in October 2018, we released Yellowfin Signals to automatically discover and surface the most important changes in data as it happens, using AI-powered pattern detection and relevance scoring. In releasing Signals, we established an architectural framework for automated discovery and analysis. You'll see a little bit of Signals in a demo later. But what's the secret sauce for Yellowfin Signals? Well, firstly, it's automated. It continuously runs against your live data looking for significant changes. It also determines if these signals are important and interesting to you. The Signals engine continually learns from your actions as well as actions from others who are like you, and ultimately increasing relevance and personalization. And thirdly, it's correlated. It finds related patterns across all of your data sets. Now, receiving automated discoveries through Signals is just one part. The other part, which is imperative to the business, is data storytelling. We release Yellowfin Stories to allow users to provide the context behind the numbers. We also allow you to build long-form narratives with Signals and other sources to generate that common and consistent understanding across the business. Because as we know, many things that affect business outcomes happen outside of business, and stories are a great way to narrate that. So what's different with Yellowfin Stories? Well, firstly, it's data-centric. It's truly designed for data sharing. It's open. It embeds third-party BI content like Power BI, Tableau, and Click. And it's secure. It reuses the Yellowfin security and governance model. And it's trusted. You can see the data lineage for all reporting objects within your story. And it truly is a data product for the business that business people can actually create and use. And at the end of last year, we packaged 5 products to form an analytics suite. You have Yellowfin Signals and Stories, just as we talked about before, but you can also use Yellowfin Data Discovery to explore data and visually share insights with other people. You can also monitor and analyze business performance in real time using Yellowfin dashboards and prepare data for analysis using Yellowfin Data Prep. It's an integrated platform, but each of these products can be deployed separately. It's a great way for customers to deploy exactly what they need according to their business use cases. And moving on to September this year, we released the new Yellowfin mobile app. The new mobile app extends our users' ability to discover, collaborate, and act on insights wherever they are. Again, it's about getting people and everyone to engage with data. The crazy thing about this new Yellowfin map is that there are no dashboards. So we combine 3 capabilities into this new Yellowfin mobile app. Firstly, Yellowfin Signals, automatically trawling through your business data for significant changes, engaging stories in article-like formats with Yellowfin Stories, and then using our industry-leading collaboration capabilities where users can interact with data in ways that are comfortable for everyone with common social interactions. And the timeline, that's the glue that holds this reimagined experience together. So again, it's much easier to show it than to talk about it, so let's see it in action. So let's fire up the mobile app and log in using the biometric option. Once logged in, I arrive at my timeline. This is my personalized real-time feed, providing me with meaningful updates in a snackable fashion. I can see the most critical changes in my data automatically discovered through Signals, the latest stories in my organization, and also what my colleagues are saying within the app. Let's scroll back up to the top. I can tap on this signal over here to have a better understanding of why this spike happened. At the top, I can see how many people are following this signal. I can also rate the usefulness of this signal and decide on the best way forward with the actions here. I can participate in any organizing, in discussions, and collaborate over here. I can check the relevance of this signal within the context of a larger data set and my role. And through Assisted Insights, I have access to AI-driven analysis complete with auto-generated charts and natural language narratives, helping me understand what's happening here. If there's a story attached to this signal, you can read it here as well, and stories help people understand and provide context behind the numbers for the wider business. In this instance, this riveting story explains a prolonged spike in sales for this brand of whiskey and also the events outside of business which contributed to this result. And that includes Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible around the same time, naming this whiskey Whiskey of the Year. Like all things, I can share this story with my colleagues, collaborate with them on this long-form analysis, and there's also a side nav that allows me to jump to any area and just go back to the left. And this way I can quickly explore and action my personalized signals. I can consume data stories, keep track of various ongoing discussions, and follow my colleagues and see what they're up to. So with the Yellowfin mobile app, you can take action on every change in your business, everywhere you are.
And with the Yellowfin mobile app, you can see there provides so much value. You get the immediacy of being alerted to things that are important to you in your pocket. And we built it around the way that people are naturally consuming data products. Before, I talked about that feed of information. So we're actually building it to the experience of the consumer. And ultimately, it has to be actionable. You know, as you can see, Ivan showed you the ways we can actually provide a jumping point to action based on that alerted data or based on when you're informed of something important to you. And for us, you know, this kind of completes the circle the last 12 months. As I've mentioned, you know, we released Signals and Stories about 12 months ago and the mobile app a couple of months ago. So it's really combining automated analysis, storytelling, and collaboration right in your pocket. And, you know, very much on purpose, you didn't see any dashboards in the mobile device. You know, dashboards are a different paradigm, a different use case. And we're going to be talking about that a lot more in just a few moments' time. But as well as this, we didn't think about just replicating the desktop experience and what we, hand up, have done that in the past, and what a lot of vendors are still doing today. We're thinking about that mobile experience. We're actually building it specifically for that device and the way people are using it today. And if you think about that experience and impacting the use, and this is my example here, but you know, I listen to far more music because the Spotify algorithm is serving up the things that are important to me. You know, my Uber Eats bill is ridiculous because it's just so easy to order and get what I want when I want. And I've kind of consumed far more random videos than I probably should admit to, just because the experience is built around what I like and what I enjoy, and it's easy to consume. So then think about, you know, analytics. Think about, you know, being alerted to an important change that's, you know, pertinent to you, knowing why it's happened, you know, being able to communicate to all the stakeholders and get that communication kind of in return, and think about the impact that could have on adoption and the value you could kind of bring to an organization. And that's what we're trying to look to do, and do that with our mobile app and the products you've just seen before. So that is, you know, the last 12 months at Yellowfin. And for me, who've been at Yellowfin a bit of a long time, it's been the most exciting time in the last 12 months. And really, it's kind of set up what we're about to show you here today, and probably the reason why you're all here, to see the launch of Yellowfin 9. And Ivan has the lucky job of actually showcasing it in action.
Yeah, so this release, Yellowfin 9, is a very big release, chock full of goodies and enhancements. We'll show you some of the highlights in the demo later, but do take your time to go through this release and enjoy it.
So let's talk about a little bit about what we have in store with Yellowfin 9. So with Yellowfin 9, we're thinking about analytics differently. We're focusing on the 95%, those business users, and how they consume information. And really, once again, thinking about the data engineers, the analysts, the developers, and the tools that they need to build those experiences that drive adoption. But to enable this as well, governance has to be at its core. And this goes beyond what we typically view governance as in the analytics industry. You know, we're looking beyond, the setting up, the data side of things, but knowing that, you know, when we cut and paste into email and PowerPoint, we lose lineage. So we're looking to govern end to end. And additionally, as I've kind of talked about, that experience is so critical to adoption. So we're thinking about devices, we're thinking about, you know, the experience of the individual users and what they need to use that data for their jobs. And as I said, you see this theme a lot. Consumption is changing, and what's driving this. And really, we've had this dashboard paradigm for the last 30 years. That I know as been in the industry a while. I'm just over, and a lot of the businesses as well. And there needs to be something different. And it starts with the feed, which we've spoken a lot about. The second part is looking at dashboards differently. Dashboards that drive action, that are built around the experience of those consuming them. The third is the journey that we started and Ivan talked about with data storytelling, and then going further of that and providing a mechanism for all governed data communications. And Yellowfin 9 is about delivering on that vision. Now, we talked about the mobile app, which we brought to market a couple of months ago, preceding this big launch. The other two big parts of this is, one, a complete revamp of dashboards to align with this vision, and a complete update to our existing storyboard product, which will now be called Yellowfin Present. And really, this is a brand new type of dashboard that enables kind of automation of actions and closes the loop on decision making. And to do this, we had to re-architect the whole dashboard module to modernize the development framework to enable what we're about to show you here today. And there are multiple parts to this, but it starts with a brand new dashboard canvas. And this dashboard canvas is going to enable everything you're about to see in the next few moments. And this is a free-form layout dashboard design, which will allow you to build anything and really kind of break the grid with pixel-perfect dashboard design. You can plug in images, text, forms, buttons, anything you like to create beautiful analytics experience. The second part of this, we're thinking about, how do you build these dashboards more effectively? And any BI professional would know that sometimes it can be quite a challenge to get analytics design right to what the business actually needs. Time to time, back and forth, email, Google Docs, meetings, etc. So we've looked at how do we help this process. We've got a brand new feature called Blueprint, just for that. Blueprint is a design framework that provides the business a way to articulate what they need. We built this all within the platform so business users and analysts can collaborate on the design of analytics. So no more getting lost in emails, Google Docs, all there for everyone to see and agreed upon, all within the application. The next big feature is what we call quick charts. Now, with every new release, we try to reduce the steps to do common things, and building visualizations can now be done right from the dashboard with just a few clicks. So enough of me talking about it. Ivan, let's show everyone what it's all about.
But before we talk about the new dashboard canvas, let's have a look at what you get today. You have your charts, your reports on this layout. You can apply global and individual filters together, and they're all interactive. It's a great dashboard, but the layout here is still grid-based. With the new dashboard canvas, we break the grid, giving you access to pixel-perfect dashboard design and more. Let's have a look. Now, this is a dashboard that's unfinished, but you can already see how different it looks and feels. Let's put this dashboard to draft and see how we went about building this. The new dashboard canvas allows you to control the layout of the dashboard to the pixel, free-form layouts freeing you from the familiar row and column grid paradigm. You have a properties panel on the right that gives you the ability to control canvas design. You can toggle grid lines, rulers, lock aspect ratios, and more. The panel on the left allows you to place any type of content. This includes the usual BI content of tables and data visualizations, widgets like filters, text, shapes, lines, icons, and images. Let's search for a chart and drag it onto the canvas. So just typing it here and drag it into the canvas. In Yellowfin 9, I can select specific charts from any report, including the entire report canvas if I wanted to, or just the table. I'm going to select a chart that I prepared beforehand and drop it here. Now let's just resize that and move that to the top. So you can see that with everything that comes with the new dashboard canvas, we're giving you the tools to design and build stunning dashboards that are pixel perfect. In Yellowfin 9, we have started to take dashboard design to another level with Blueprint. Let's have a look. Blueprint makes it possible for a business user to drag on prototype widgets, place them on a page, and at the same time, describe to the analyst exactly what they want placed there. Let's fill in some details for this particular blueprint chart. All right. And with the activity stream, they can also maintain ongoing conversations and collaboration in real time with everyone else. This way, we bridge the gap between the business user and the analysts and developers who are building content for them by making it incredibly easy to define exactly what you want in a dashboard, even if you cannot build it yourself. For the analyst who has the access, it's simply a matter of clicking on the blueprint and initiating the chart creation process through quick charts. You can simply select the dimension and metrics on the right, and the chart builds itself. You can have different aggregations, split by different categories with color sets, and even add additional metrics with second series. So let's add demographic here, and the chart splits. Now let's quickly change this quick chart and add a second series instead. You can also decide whether you want to share the same axes, dual axes, or split them entirely. All in a click, as well as other options below. We're really following the 80-20 rule here, where most of what's needed today to build charts can be achieved here. But if you need, you can certainly go into the advanced builder to perform further activities there. So what makes this so good? Well, with the all-new dashboard canvas, besides building visually stunning content, you'll be able to build a differentiated analytics experience that's different to what's out there. You'll have better collaboration with governed prototyping, and even if they couldn't build it themselves, Blueprint will help business users define exactly what they want. For the analysts and developers who built the content, they'll be able to work from a proper specification together. And next is code mode. If you are a developer, this is for you. Code mode comes with a bilateral editor that allows users to create dashboards and extend their functionality into new analytical experiences in both visual and code modes, using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, common dev languages that most, if not all, devs are familiar with. We also have a new content API, a refreshed JavaScript API that can be used internally within the platform and externally for embedding content as well. Every object on the dashboard has its own contextual API, including the canvas itself, and are all state aware, allowing you to listen to events and have fine-grained control over the properties of any object. So if you can think of it, you can build it within code mode. Next is code widgets. Code widgets are a great way to take something a developer wrote in code mode and create a low-code, no-code template out of it. So rather than rebuild it every time, authors can not only bring external APIs and app experiences into Yellowfin, but reuse it when they need, all through an open, extensible plugin framework which provides the base for unique experiences, interactions, or visualizations. So we have code mode and we have code widgets, so what will close the decision-making loop here? Actions. In Yellowfin 9, we have action buttons that can trigger actions within Yellowfin or ones within external enterprise applications. You can push data to these enterprise apps or pull from them. What this means is that developers can take these buttons, create integrated and bi-directional workflows via code mode, and produce actionable dashboards with seamless workflows. Again, much easier to show it than to talk about it, so let's see it in action. So let's revisit a completed version of the Licorio dashboard that we just saw from the previous example. See this toggle button at the top? You can flip between each visual and code mode with one click, and changes in one mode are instantly reflected in the other. So use drag and drop where it makes the most sense, or extend it with as little as much code as you need to create the experience you want. Every object on the canvas on the left is listed here. If you hover over each object, it highlights the relevant HTML code. You can extend functionality and look and feel by bringing in your own JavaScript charts, JavaScript libraries, and CSS into the respective panels. So unlike other tools, code mode does not require a developer to learn a new language. In addition, the visual drag and drop and code mode work seamlessly together. With the new action buttons, you can simply drag and drop them onto the canvas and modify its properties accordingly. Besides the look and feel, you can wire up out-of-the-box Yellowfin actions here, like resetting the dashboard, going to previous and next subtabs, exporting, having a new URL, and more. If you want to extend the action button to connect to other apps via APIs and trigger actions, you can do so with code mode. For example, I can see my star performers here, but if I want to go somewhere else and view more about whiskeys, I click on it, which brings me to this new whiskey tab. I can see everything about that. But one thing you'll notice is, what is this panel on the right? This is a code widget. Developers can now embed any analytical experience they want into our dashboards, embedded forms that take Yellowfin into other systems, or pumping it through AI apps that give us predictive values back here. It's all up to you. We've brought our signals product into the dashboard as a code widget, and it's contextual, so you only see relevant signals for this whiskey data. And let's click into this signal for this particular brand. You've probably seen all this before, but here I can explore a signal for a selected brand. I have access to my related metrics and correlations if I have any. At the bottom, I can collaborate with others around this signal and see how relevant this is according to my role and access in my data. I can also see what contributed to this spike through assisted insights, generating auto charts and narratives explaining why this signal happened. And if I want to get a story going, I simply add the signal to it and get everyone in my business on the same page. I can also rate the usefulness of this signal and help train the engine to increase relevance and personalization. But let's get back to the Whiskies tab and go back to our starting point. Now, before we've seen action buttons that trigger out-of-the-box Yellowfin actions, but what about to external applications and APIs? Well, let's have a look at the website tracker tab next. This is a simple dashboard that tracks website visits for a particular company, and I can see there's a big drop-off at the end. Over here in the bottom left, I can see the website nodes across regions and their uptimes. And there's a huge problem here. The node for Latin America is offline and has only been up 96% of the time. So who do I talk to? Do I call someone or email someone? Do I try to log a request on another system? I don't know, it's cumbersome. Well, with our new action buttons, it's super easy. Simply select the relevant data. Our content API has access to this, populates the form, embed it with code mode, and then all we do is type in a comment and get our IT guys to fix it. And then we click OK. The action here raises a ticket in Jira with the API and receive the confirmation here. So we click on it, and just like that, a Jira ticket raised from our dashboard without leaving the platform. It is the totality of code mode, the content API, and action buttons that makes this so special. And it's not just about embedded BI, it's the inverse as well. With Yellowfin 9, you get actionable dashboards that can embed any data entry and transaction processing functionality into your analytics. So what makes code mode, content API, and action buttons so special? Well, in Yellowfin 9, we're giving devs the ability to create and integrate experiences using these features. They can also use low-code and no-code widget templates, which can be reused by other authors in the enterprise. And lastly, bring some really unique and engaging experiences on a dashboard to connect insight to action.
As you saw from Ivan's demonstration, you can basically create stunning dashboards that are built around the experience of your end users or customers. Think about how you jump from data to application, from the building stage all the way through to ultimate action. This can now be streamlined within the one application. So really opening up the value you could potentially provide to a large organization. So with that, we're going to go to the second part of the big release, which is Yellowfin Present. Now we know how much effort goes into securing applications, and that goes out the window as soon as people cut and paste into PowerPoint. Now Present ensures that we're governing these data-led communications end to end. Now they contain live data that's fully interactive and the same rich experience that Ivan just presented moments ago on the dashboards. And it enables real-time collaboration across presentations. Now Present is one of two parts of how we look at data storytelling. You have the longer form contextual analysis in stories, and you've got human-led presentations, which we're facilitating essentially all the ways a business would communicate with data. Now with Present, you're able to create beautiful presentations using the same pluggable framework as you just saw with the new dashboard builder. Now these presentations are inheriting all the security of the platform, so users will only see the data they're allowed to see. So now across to Ivan, and let's see it in action.
Thanks, Dan. This is an exciting change. Goodbye storyboards and hello Present. The biggest change, like Dan said, is that Present will now be built using the same dashboard builder. It has the best of both dashboard canvas and code mode, meaning business users can create great presentations combining all these reports, images, and widgets, and if desired, extend the presentation using code mode to drive action. So what is the impact? Yellowfin 9 will help users create data presentations that are unmatched. Users can build presentations once, refresh the data in those presentations as often as needed automatically. Hundreds of hours will be saved on executive report preparation, and you'll have up-to-date data and improved quality by eliminating errors that could occur from copying and pasting into PowerPoint or other systems. And last but not least, secure within a governed information architecture, meaning that data is only seen by those who have the right access, as well as a powerful collaboration infrastructure, enabling real-time feedback and discussion. And there you have it. There are a whole lot more of enhancements in this release, and we couldn't possibly go through every single one today. However, in the next session, Brad Scarf, our CTO, is going to go through some of these additional features in his developer showcase, so please check it out there. And with that, it's back to Dan.
Thank you, Ivan. And just to close out today's session, I just wanted to talk about the potential for real value when we think beyond the dashboard. And this is where most companies are at. They've got email, they've got static reports, they've got Excel, and this is step one. The more we're interacting with data, we're providing more value, but it's still limited. When organizations are able to automate the workflow between applications, alert you automatically to what's most important, provide context, and create applications that can be rapidly deployed, you have the ability to create real transformational value and allow for meaningful change. And at Yellowfin, we're about providing the tools so organizations can make that happen. And that concludes our Yellowfin 9 launch session. I hope you enjoyed it. And really, hopefully you can see why Yellowfin provides the only analytics suite that combines automated analysis, storytelling, and collaboration to deliver real transformational value for your data. Ivan, any last thoughts?
Well, no one combines it like we do. In Yellowfin 9, we have something really special that helps everyone engage with data and be successful.
Absolutely. Now, if you have any questions, please pop them into the Bright Talk panel there. If you want to join the conversation on social media, jump on Twitter. You'll see the hashtag on your screen there, YFInnovate. Please ask us any questions. Myself, Ivan, and a lot of the Yellowfin team will be online and answering a lot of questions that are coming in. But if you're going to join us for the rest of the summit, we've got a lot in store. After this, we've got Brad Scarf, our CTO, who'll be getting into the nitty-gritty of the technical parts of the product in a session really for the developers out there. And that's followed by a big industry panel chaired by Ivan with some of the really great analysts in the field, and followed by a Women in Tech panel chaired by Simone Clancy. So thank you for joining us for YF9 launch, and hopefully we'll see you in the rest of the summit.